This, oh.
Hi, welcome to Paranormal versus. Sorry, I just had a technical fault there. Welcome to the show. Anyway, I'm with myself, Cal Ridley, and Michael Koff. It's going
My wires are all over the place. Like I'm getting hit by this. Like what the hell?
Everything just went wrong since I went live there. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Myself, Cal Ridley, and my co-host Michael Koff, and we've got the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Bryan Jon Laverty to the show this week. Brian's
got it right. You got it right.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
For once. Anyway, Brian,
doing?
would you like to introduce yourself and tell who you are?
Introduce myself how? My name is Bryan Jon Laverty. Please do not call me DJ. It's Bryan Jon, and which Kelly did at one time. She said that. I think most people know me as paranormal investigator with a group called Huntophobia. Right, Michael? Huntophobia.
Yes.
So,
oh god!
And I'm also known for Parapost Network, the app, which is a social media site for everything under the paranormal, and then obviously Paranormal or Parapost Network Central, which is the Facebook page, where you guys are streaming to right now, and last but not least, the Global Ghost Hunt.
Cool.
Is that what you wanted to know? Did I answer your question properly?
Yeah, it just saved me from having to obviously say it, so I thought I'll just get you to explain it instead.
Yeah.
That's about to get in trouble.
You didn't want to do it? It would have sounded better coming from you because of your accent.
My accent. Are you kidding? Have you heard some of obviously the streams that I do, and it's like I get my words muddled up. That just done it again. So
well, I do have my translator app going, so just in case there's something I don't understand. And then I see that Mr. Scott's in the room, and sometimes I have to have my translator app open for him as well, because his accent is very thick, and sometimes it's very difficult to understand him. So, but I tend to get by. So we'll see what it's like during this show with Cal, because we speak a lot through Messenger. So obviously through Messenger there's absolutely no accent. So
I could say the same about you and your accent, but
what do you mean?
Well, obviously the Canadian accent's slightly different to American, so I'm used to speaking to everybody in America.
Do you like it?
It's all right. It's just that when you say
wow. What do you mean it's all right?
It's all right. I know I've got to be nice to you.
Why? No, you're always nice to me.
I'm a nice person.
80% of the time.
Oh, yeah. Suppose. But I mean, I could really step up my accent because Jodie's really talk fast, and I don't think you'd be able to understand the word I said if I started doing my normal accent. So that would be interesting.
Good to know. So just the only thing I suggest during this show, slow. And slow. There you go. I understood that.
Oh god. I should have called in sick today, I knew it.
Man, I'm loving this. I can just sit back and enjoy the show.
Well, the funny thing is you must have known when I was coming on this show that I was gonna bust your chops a little bit.
Yeah, I know. You always do. I was prepared for it, but then obviously.
Were you nervous at all?
No. Why would I be nervous? I've spoken to you a million times.
You should be.
Why? I'm getting nervous.
Your chops.
You're getting nervous, Michael? Michael's just gonna sit back and listen to us the whole
I know. I'm just enjoying this.
Yeah.
Scott's right. See?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if he's doing that just to insult me or he's actually making a joke.
No, he'll be making a joke non-stop.
I know he is. I know he is. I'm just busting his chops. I've been on Paranormal in History, I think 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And they're good people over there.
Mm-hmm. I've been on their show as well. It's I love the history. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for Brian to bring out the stereotypical Canadian going, "Eh? Are you good to go? Eh?"
I don't do that very often, only because I know people outside of Canada make fun of that. I tend not to say "a." Mine is more so no, I try to stay away from the "a," but I don't know where that came from. I don't know where that came from.
TV.
The "a."
I think it was on TV.
Was it from Bob and Doug McKenzie? Remember those 2 guys from the 80s?
It probably was.
I think they had an SNL skit for a little while. It's called Bob and Doug McKenzie, and they were Canadians and drinking beer and watching hockey, and it was just a lot of different skits. Look them up on YouTube, Doug and Bob McKenzie, and it's quite funny. It's quite humorous, and at the end of every joke, they always go "a." So I think that's really where it generated from. So,
well, speaking of which, where were your family from? Obviously from Canada, but did they originally emigrate from somewhere else?
Well, no, well, see, this is a tough question to answer because I was put up for adoption when I was 6 months old.
Oh, wow.
So my actual adoptive parents, they were born here in Canada, but my father's father was born in Ireland.
Right.
Now, if you put a couple of drinks in that guy, like I could never understand him as a child. Like I could never understand a word he was saying. And it got even worse when he had a couple of pops in him. So, or a couple of whiskeys, because I think whiskey was his drink. And you put a couple of those, and I think maybe every so often I got out of the conversation that he was talking about. So, but yeah, he was very, very Irish. My adopted mother's family, they were born in Montreal. So so that's my adopted family. But my biological mother, that I've known for a little over 24 years, she's Scottish and English mixture. So I do have Irish and Scottish, and I do have a little bit of Italian in me, from what I understand from my father's side. Right. So I'm definitely a Heinz 57, if you know what that is.
I was just about to say that. You read my mind.
Yeah. I'm a mixture of everything. Yeah. You remember that joke, right? The Heinz 57.
Yep.
When somebody had a multiple backgrounds in them, and that's definitely me. I think I have around 8 or 9 in my background. So.
Wow. Yeah. Definitely Heinz beans variety.
What's that?
Definitely a Heinz beans variety. Sorry, I forgot how to speak slowly for you.
yeah. Let's not forget that. Okay. I do have my translator app on though, so it is catching your voice.
Did they even make a Geordie translator?
They wouldn't be able to keep up. I just noticed that Stephen's in the room. Stephen Woodard. Just want to say hello.
I saw him earlier.
Nice to see
these lovely people.
George is in, and
let's make it clear who he's talking about.
So anyway, getting back to questions. Yeah. I've written a few down for you, so
okay.
I just hope I get them out right.
I got them too, so I can translate.
Oh God!
That's gonna be a never-ending joke.
God. So what would you say your strengths and weaknesses are when it comes to running the Parapost Network and Huntphobia?
Oh, wow. You go right out of the gate with the toughest question. Jeez Louise. What are my, God, that's a difficult question to answer. Now, when you're referring to Parapost Network, you're referring to the app or the Facebook page?
All of it, really.
Yeah. What are the strengths and what are the weaknesses? Is that
Mhm.
kind of the question you're asking me?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think it. I think you're. Oh God, how do I answer this question? I think what I love about Parapost Network up to this point, and especially the Facebook page, is the amount of people that have brought over their vodcasts to the page, and how many people have grown from, from when they started. Like there's a bunch of teams or a bunch of vodcasts that, were not getting a lot of views before they hit Parapost Network. And I can say the same thing for Paralinks as well. I'm sure there's a lot of vodcasts on there that weren't doing great numbers, and when they came over to the network they started growing. Like I know a few just off the top of my head that grew like huge. Like, there were a couple of them that only had like 300 or 400 people in their group page, and now they're over 2,000, because of getting out there and to these networks, and people sharing their vodcasts and stuff like that. So I think really my whole goal to this page was to really help people grow, and I think that's what the page has done. Now, when it comes to the Parapost Network, the app, that is a work in progress. It's been around for a couple of years now. We just went over our 2 years, and that is still growing as well. But there's a lot of things that could be changed. There's a lot of things that need to be updated. I do have a goal for that site. Eventually, what I want to do is have live streaming on that site, so people with their vodcasts and their live investigations and stuff like that can actually go live on Parapost Network. That is the long-term goal. And eventually what I want to do is, because right now it's on a certain template, the app. So eventually what I wanted to do is I want to develop its own. I know this is not going to make sense to a lot of people, but if you're in the industry, you would kind of understand when it comes to website development. I wanted to have its own page. And what I mean, like when you guys are on Facebook, this is not set up by a template from another company that Facebook uses and does. This is their website. They developed it with all the coding and everything like that. That's what I'm hoping Parapost Network is going to get to eventually. It's going to be its own website, and hopefully it will grow to the point. I don't know if it will ever grow to the numbers of Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, but I'm definitely hoping that it gets to the 500, 1 million, 2 million mark eventually, once the live streaming starts happening on the site. But it's right now it's a good site, and you can post your stories, you can post pictures, you can hook up your YouTube to the actual site. So once you hook it up, every time you upload on YouTube, it automatically uploads on Parapost. And the great thing is it's going to give you another view if people are watching through Parapost. So the actual views and likes go to YouTube.
That's
so
good.
it helps you grow.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. So I definitely think there's pros and cons to everything. And there's some pros with the site. There's some cons with the site. Exact same thing. Huntophobia right now is kind of like on the back burner because I got so much else going on. But I will have some videos coming out very soon that will go up onto Paraflix and will also go up onto YouTube. So that's kind of on the back burner because really Global Ghost Hunt has really it's right at the top of the list now to grow that and to make that successful. So, and our first event was really good.
That's good.
So, yeah. So if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The second Global Ghost Hunt is in October, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's from October 19th through till the 29th. So it's 10 days, like the one in May. But again, it's one of those things. It's a work in progress. Hopefully, over the next couple of years, it will probably be longer than 10 days. We're hoping that eventually it's going to get so big and so large that we'll have to have it a month.
Wow.
That's what we're looking at. So yeah.
Michael, you got any more questions?
Well,
Thanks for having me.
It's not over yet.
Oh, I like this one that Kel came up with. What has been your most scariest paranormal or unexplained experience to date?
I have two. One that happened when I was about 18 or 19 years old, and then one that happened within the last couple of years. I'll start with the one when I was 18. So as a lot of people know that I am a sensitive and that I can see spirits. Unfortunately, I can't hear them, or I can't hear them, and I can't see facial features, but I can see full, like it's almost like a full body apparition, and it's like it's black, and I can definitely tell when it's a man or a woman. So I think one of the most scariest thing was there was a house that was not too far from me that was obviously abandoned, and every time I walk by that house, you know sometimes when you walk by something you get that irky feeling.
Yeah.
That's what it was walking by this place. It was very scary to walk by this place, and it was the type of place where kids would go to party because it was abandoned, and I knew something wasn't very nice in this place. And so every weekend kids would go there and party and stuff like that, and they would always ask me if I wanted to go, and I always told them no, I wasn't interested, because I had a feeling I knew what was there. But so finally one weekend, somebody convinced me to come, and I went with a buddy of mine, and we got in there. We were there for about 10 minutes. And before we got in there, now to understand my abilities, if I hate using this word, and I think most paranormal investigators are like this, that I never like to use the demonic word because I think it's overused and overdone.
Yeah, I agree.
In my lifetime of doing this since I was 9 years old, I've seen about 5. And the very first one I ever saw was when I was 18. So when I walked into this place, I saw it right away. Now, when I see something on the demonic side of things, or the very black negative side, it's usually black, and it's like a translucent smoke, and it moves around the room very, very slowly, like it owns the room. So when I walked into this place, there it was in the room. And I even knew what I was going to be encountering before we even opened the door. And during that, like I think we were there for about 5 or 10 minutes, and my buddy got severely scratched. And I told him I didn't want to be there anymore. So I ended up leaving, and when he got scratched, it was after I left. So he got severely scratched. He ended up getting very, very ill, very, very sick. He ended up being in the hospital for almost 3 weeks.
Wow.
He almost died. He lost about 35 pounds. Now, keeping in mind, this guy was already a very, very skinny guy. And for him to lose 35 pounds is like he would be skin and bones.
Wow.
And that's what he would have been. And he almost died. And that was probably one of my scariest moments. Even though it didn't happen to me, it happened to a buddy of mine. It was just a terrible situation. And I never went back to that place, to be honest.
Did you ever look up the history of it?
No, you know what? It was just like, I don't even know how you explain it. It was like, if I go back to where I was raised, and because it's only an hour, it's only about 45 minutes for me. But if I go down that street, I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it up online, because it's very, very hard to describe the house. Because when you look at the house, it looks like a castle, but it's not. And it's got these high peaks on it. And it's just really, really weird looking house. And when you look at it, you go, Jesus, what the hell is that? It's one of those places,
Right.
and you would walk by and go, okay, that place is haunted. Like you wouldn't even have to be a medium or a sensitive or anything. You would just go, okay, that place is definitely haunted. And it was very haunted. And there was something very, 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 very negative there that I till this day, it's like one of those things that's going to be impressed in my memory, because this guy it was like he was a very good friend of mine that almost died. And I told him that I wanted to leave, and we should leave together, and he should have left with me. But the thing, I think that one of the scariest thing was that Strats caused by that, whatever it was, and him almost dying. The doctors couldn't even explain what was wrong with him. They didn't even know. And all of a sudden 3 weeks went by and he started getting better.
Wow.
And full recovery. So that was probably one of my scariest moments. Now, the second one, there's a place about 5.5 hours from here that I went to, and it's an abandoned sawmill. And when I walked up with the other people I was with, it was one of those things where you knew something dark was there. You just knew something was dark. It was creepy. It was eerie. It was falling apart, and the floors were falling apart. And when we walked into this place, like, we had a medium with us, and she's really good medium. And she goes, I don't want to go in that place. There is something dark in there. We ended up going in. We weren't there as long as I wanted to be, because everybody was scared. Everybody was super, super scared. Like, we had 2 camera people there, and one of the this girl that was holding the camera, can't recall her name now, but she was shaking during the whole time we were there. So we couldn't use a lot of her footage because she was shaking so badly. Oh. But this place was so dark. The story is 2 people died because of money, and they were fighting and they died at the same time. So, which is weird in itself. Yeah. So it was all about money, and it ended up closing down, and it's been abandoned for, God, I think 30 years. It's been sitting empty. 40 years maybe. Right. But it's got a very, very dark past. Very, very dark past, unfortunately. So that was probably one of my second places that was really scary that I probably wouldn't go back to. And honestly, I don't get scared that easily. So it was just one of those places where you go, okay, you're walking up to it and like you can feel the thickness in the air on how dark it is in that place. Yeah. And it was like you were walking through it, and it was summer, but it wasn't warm. But it felt like when you were walking through this place, you were just sweating. Like the fear was making you sweat so much, and the adrenaline from being in there, it was unsettling, to say the least. So yeah.
Wow.
We've got a question in the chat. Do you want to put it up, Michael?
Well, before that, I was going to say we have a comment in here. Brian, I think you might be able to help identify. It says they did an investigation at the Bullion Plaza on the Global Ghost Hunt a couple of weeks ago, that you helped set it all up.
Yes, that is SPI of Arizona that was doing the Bullion Plaza. And they had a great investigation, and hopefully they're going to come back in October and to do another one. So they say that the people getting scratched is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Trinity. What's my view on that? I don't know. I honestly, I never really think about it. I don't really have an opinion on it. Is it true? I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. I don't have a lot to say about it. there's so many, and it's funny because I was thinking about this today, uh, while I was in the shower. Just weird why I was thinking about this in the shower, just on how many things are out there today, on people saying about fairies, elementals, and all those different things. And my thought on all that is, I think sometimes people create these things because they want to look bigger and sound better. And I've never ever seen. I've heard people talk about it, but I've never ever seen actual footage of a fairy. Have you guys? I hear it being talked about all the time, but I've never actually seen a fairy. The only fairy that I know is from Disney. So, I think sometimes people come up with these different things, and elementals, fairies, and all those things. I just, I don't know. I just don't put a lot of stock in it, to be honest. So,
Yeah,
that's what I was
may
thinking
have
about.
seen one, but I don't know. It was late at night. It was outside. Could have been light refraction, but I don't know. It just looked really interesting that it was like a little ball that had like little wings off, and it had like shape to it, but there was no visible bugs, and it was only in one photo out of 3.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like it's the exact same thing with cryptids too, right? Like there was a picture online, and I'm sure you can find it online, of the wolf man, or the dog man. I believe it's called dog man, right? I believe it's called.
Right.
And they had this picture and they said it was a dog man. To me, it looked like it was a wolf that had just been eaten by bugs and torn apart by other animals.
I've not actually seen that.
So if I find it online, I'll send it to you.
Cool.
But he was saying that it's a dog man picture. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very easy to learn online. Just type in dog man and look at the pictures. You'll find it.
I've that's one of the cryptids I got asked about the other night, and I didn't even know it existed. And apparently, it's in the UK. So,
what's that?
Dogman.
Yeah, well, apparently, Dogman's seen everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what kind of cryptids are there supposedly in Canada?
Well, apparently, and I say that very loosely. About 2 hours here, there's a park called Algonquin Park, and apparently it hasn't been seen, but it's been heard, the Wendigo.
Right.
Now, again, I'm one of those people that I have to see it in order to believe it. So, apparently it was heard. Now, my question is, how do you know what a Wendigo sounds like?
No idea.
So,
yeah,
it's one of those things. And apparently it's seen in the northern part of Canada, or Alberta. Apparently Calgary's, they've been seeing the Sasquatch a lot in Calgary. But again, I don't know.
Aren't the Wendigos the ones that are meant to like call your name and lure you in, apparently?
Well, it's not a very pretty thing. If you look it up, take a look at it. It's not very pretty.
Right.
It's definitely not one you want to be friends with. That's for sure. So,
or keep as a pet.
Well, I think the Wendigo was originally started with the Indians. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was 2 Indians that apparently changed into a Wendigo, and that's where it really all began.
Wow.
So yeah, something along that lines. I don't quote me on that story, but I think it's something to do with that. So
yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
which is interesting because that's the same as the Skinwalkers.
Yeah, well, that's another one. Again, that's another one.
It just goes to show, region-wise, we change the names of stuff, and so it's like everyone thinks there's multiples, and I'm like, we may be talking about the same one, but you guys call it one thing, we call it another. We're probably talking about the same thing.
Well, it's almost like the Mothman. I was at Octagon Hall last October, November, and one of the stories that Bear told as we were doing the tour of Octagon Hall, he talked about the Sasquatch, UFOs, the Mothman, all being out in the back of the Octagon Hall, and I was going, have you guys ever seen that picture of that very large bat that's probably about 8 feet tall?
Right. I have.
Yeah, I would probably say it's more likely that than it is a Mothman. My opinion. That's it. So. Awkward silence.
Oh no.
That was me thinking.
Yeah, you know what? I'd love to. I'm actually going to be. Where's Steven again?
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. That's right. I'm actually going to be in Arizona next year at the Tombstone Paracon. How far is that from New Mexico?
Not far.
Next state over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I am going to be in Tombstone next May for the Paracon. I'm going to be a speaker there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're getting yourself around now.
Sorry?
You're getting yourself around now.
Well, you make it sound like it's a bad thing. You're getting yourself around. Oh, okay, cool.
It's always a good thing.
Well, no, I was thinking something. I was thinking another way.
Oh, okay.
You're getting around. Wow, that was a nasty look. Wow.
Steven says he's 7 hours from Tombstone.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad. We can meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And Nando says you need to come back to the UK.
And I'm thinking this is my friend Paula, who, because I know she's in Arizona and saying 20 minutes out of Tombstone. I'm thinking that might be her.
Well, I am planning a trip back to the UK in January.
Cool.
That's what I'm planning. Yes, sir.
You were obviously right. Paula.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, yeah, so I'm going to be heading out there. No, I was just making a joke because you said you get around. It's kind of like aren't you getting yourself around? Well, no, not really.
No.
I was saying, everybody in the audience knows what I'm talking about. Michael knows too.
I do.
Yeah.
But I actually had a question from one of your answers, Octagon Hall.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go there. Is the stories about it true? Like you can.
So why don't you tell me what stories you're talking about, and I'll let you know if they're true.
Well, some of the hype I've heard of is you go there and you can get real dizzy. It's super active. You can get lost easily.
I would say the middle one, yes. The other two, no. I never experienced any dizziness. But on a scale of 1 to 10 for activity, I give it an 11. It is like from the moment we walked in till the moment we left, we were getting activity. That place is crazy for activity. There was like when we first got there, and I was with Adam. He was we were standing together while we were listening to Bear talk, because the guy who takes you on a tour, his name is Bear, and very, very nice guy. He's really, really super nice guy. So we were standing at the doorway as soon as we walked in, and me and Adam both heard it. It sounded like somebody was being dragged along the floor in the basement that was wearing chains. And we both heard it. And that was right when we first got there. And there was a certain part when I was like, we were setting up and stuff like that. And we were in the main room, one of the main rooms on the main floor. We were setting up our equipment. And all of a sudden I heard what sounded like a door. So there was a cabinet about 7 feet away from me to my left. Adam was over to my right about 10 feet away, 11 feet away from this cabinet. I looked to my left, and there's two glass doors, and one door is shaking. Just one door is shaking. And I look, Adam looks in and goes, "Did that just happen?"
Oh.
Yeah, it was, and we tried everything to debunk it to see if it was maybe one of us that maybe moved and the floor was a little bit uneven and that's why the door moved. But I even stood right beside it and hopped up and down, and the door wasn't moving. So it's really, it was a really cool moment. But the only disappointing part of that moment, neither of us had our cameras going.
Isn't that always the way it goes?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But even Patty, at the end of and I tell you, like, I know there's a lot of places in the States where you can go and do your paranormal investigations, and the cost is quite high for some of these locations. But Octagon Hall was, for the 6 of us, it was $300, and we were there for 14 hours.
Wow.
Like, that's pretty good. If you just want to take a tour of the museum, it's $5, and it for the amount of activity in that place, it was well worth the $300. Now you can walk into some places and spend $1,200 and not get a single damn thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I understand sometimes it's just might be that night where you might not be picking up anything, because, for example, Bobby Mackey's, we got a few things here and there, but definitely not worth the $600 for 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I think personally, on a scale of 1 to 10 for me, for Bobby Mackey's is probably a 3. And, I think it's been overhyped and overdone. And I think it's I think the only thing that was scary there is the code violations. That place, like, there was wires out of the floor, wires out of the ceiling. The floor was uneven. It felt like some parts of the floor was even sinking. It was just an awful place, and I have no idea how that place has stayed open, because it's still an open bar on Friday and Saturday nights.
Wow.
And I just really don't understand how that place has stayed open. They must be paying off the town, because if a fire marshal walked into that place, he would close that place right away, because it's in a horrible condition. And it's funny, because I've always heard about Bobby Mackey's and seen videos, and you hear all these wonderful stories and all that stuff, and you walk in and you go, really, this is it?
Oh my God.
Like, it's one of those, right? And yeah, I don't
that would be like a major anticlimax if you were coming from the UK, go all that way to go to somewhere and it's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Octagon Hall was crazy. It's really, really crazy. And I was saying, Patty, at the end of the night or the morning, we were leaving at about 9 o'clock in the morning. And there's this, at the back of Octagon Hall, there's this little hut, and it's got a fireplace and it's got a small little kitchen. She went in there to do some last minute filming, and she captured an EVP on her camera.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that was like at 5 to 9 in the morning. So I tell you, from the moment we walked in to the moment we left, activity. And we were getting stuff off the SB7. We were getting, the EMF. It was a fantastic night. I recommend anybody to go there. Yeah. If you want to go to an investigation, for me personally, it's a paranormal investigations, a paranormal investigator's dream, that place. If you want to capture evidence, that's where you're going to get it. So, yeah.
Matt Atkinson's just asked a question for Brian to say, what's your favorite piece of equipment and to use for capturing paranormal anomalies when you're doing investigations?
I will say that I am not big on the whole orb thing. I'm just not. I'm very weary on orbs and I can't even say it, anomalies. If I think I've caught something, it would be through my camera that I use. But again, I'm not big on the old orbs and stuff like that. I personally myself, I like the real evidence, like EVPs and and stuff like that. Like I use the SB7 a lot because I'm a huge fan of the SB7. and that's kind of where I got the name of the SB7 Whisperer, I guess, because I capture so much through my SB7. So I love the SB7 is my biggest. I have two of them, for God's sake. I love them.
I've heard you love them.
I love the SB7. There's, and I've captured some amazing things with the SB7. So that's what I should have sent you guys. I should have sent you some videos.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, I never even thought about that.
So obviously, apart from the SB7, it's your camera that you choose.
And I love doing a voice recorder. And every so often I'll use my FLIR. I love the FLIR too. When I do use it, I only use it in certain circumstances, but the FLIR is great. I'm pretty, you know what? Honestly, I'm not big in the fancy equipment. I'm just not. I'm old school. Like I'll use a paper and pen, if I need to, But I'm just not big in the whole equipment thing. I think I'll be honest. I think this equipment stuff has gotten way out of hand.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of it.
Yeah, and there's things coming out there. You're just sitting back and you're going, really? You think that's gonna work? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm just very simple. I'm very basic.
What I find a bit amusing is like the cat balls, and then somebody sitting there on the videos, and it's going, "Can you come and play with my balls, please?" So
yeah, I said that.
Use your words better.
I said that a few times too. But I've used the cat balls, and I like the cat balls. But again, I don't use those things very often. Like we had an amazing experience in the UK with the cat balls at the Mausoleum. We had an amazing experience with them. But I do have cat balls, but I have the plastic ones where they have a little bell inside them. Like I have a bag full of those that I would put up on a table. I'd rather use those than the ones that light up, because again, you never know. Something could have hit the cat ball. The floor could have vibrated. Something could have happened to set that cat ball off, because there's a guy I see on TikTok all the time. And I don't know if you guys have seen him or not, but he does lives almost every night. And he's doing it I think he's doing it from his home. And, he's got cat balls down on the ground. He's got his EMF meter. He's got a REM pod. But if you guys ever watch his videos, you will notice that it's wood floors. And the wood floors are not very even looking.
Yeah.
So all he would need to do is tap on the floor and the cat ball would go off. So, I don't know. Again, it's one of those things where I'm very simple. I capture something on the voice recorder. There's no denying it. If I capture something on the SB7, okay, there's a chance it could be a radio station. But if I getting like a name out, like for example, when I was in the UK, we got the name Nando on the SB7. Nando's not a very popular name, and I don't think you're going to get that through a radio station. So, it's stuff like that. But again, too much stuff out there. It's like, and what kills me is people are buying it all, and really paranormal investigations, you need a camera, a voice recorder, and, a pen and paper. That's all you really need when you go on a paranormal investigation, but people are getting all sucked in with all this different kinds of equipment that, that you need to get and need to buy. And, I get it. There's some people out there that like to buy the latest thing that's out there, but that's just not me. So,
yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I'm just looking at Stephen's comment. It says that Michael's going to interpret what I've just said. I haven't even opened my mouth.
Which comment that? Sorry.
It's
Stephen was teasing it, saying he needs me to translate Kel.
Oh, okay.
Earlier.
I'm sorry.
He's cheeky, very cheeky.
Yeah. Shame on you, Stephen. Shame.
So I actually have a question for you, Brian.
Sure.
And it's more of an opinion kind of question.
So
when a lot of people are going to in places like, say, Octagon Hall or the St. Augustine Lighthouse, or Winchester Mansion.
Okay.
Does that, you think, help build up the paranormal activity, or do you think it wears it down? That it's people are keep coming and coming and coming and doing their stuff.
Ooh. I'm trying to understand the question. So do you think the reason some of these places get popular is because of the amount of people going to them and the amount of evidence they're capturing or possibly capturing? Is that what you're kind of asking me?
Well, so I'm thinking in like metaphysical terms. We think
Okay.
like if you go to a certain place, you can drain the energy there. And
Okay.
so it kind of loses some of its energy.
Okay, so
And
then
I'm
my
wondering
question,
if
my question back to you is, why do you think that?
I'm just curious because might explain why sometimes there's no activity there
Yeah,
and sometimes it's like
I see what you're saying.
super high.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I just don't think how that would be possible. I again, it's like I'm going back. I'll be honest, guys, and I've thought about this many, many times. We have made the paranormal industry so complicated that uh, some people take the fun out of it. And and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your question. I just don't see how that would be possible. If a spirit is through a place and has energy, and if a person is going in there and sucking out a spirit's energy, I just don't see how that's possible. I just don't, and it doesn't make sense to me. um I understand some of these times that these spirits are taking, they're going into people's equipment and stuff like that and sucking or draining the energy out of it. I get that. But my question is to you guys, and I'll flip that question around. How do we know that's actually really happening?
Oh, don't really do it.
We don't.
We don't. So to answer that question would be impossible to answer, because to me it just doesn't make, like, again, I'll go back to what I just said a few seconds ago. We have made this industry so complicated that it's becoming unfun to watch paranormal investigations. It really is. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your question, Stephen, because or Michael, sorry. There's nothing wrong with your question. I get it, but I just don't see how that's possible. I really don't. And I understand the spirits have all this energy and stuff like that, but for me to walk into the place and take out all that energy and walk out and go somewhere else and somebody else comes in, I just don't see how that's possible. I just can't. And again, that's my opinion. So
No, I agree, and I've always wondered that because you always hear like people saying, "Oh, I was there yesterday and nothing happened," and the next day, super active, and I'm like, well, trying to help understand why that could be for people, but
okay, so let me twist this around for you, and let me ask you this, and this might make a little more sense, okay? And just maybe giving it a thought. If I came to your house, okay, and me and you know each other really, really well, okay, and we get along and all those wonderful things, you're going to talk to me, okay?
right.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you even need to know me well. I could just come to your place, introduce myself, say hi, and you speak to me. Now, what happens if a person goes in there and doesn't do any of that? Should the spirits be talking to them? Like, really? Like, I guess it depends on the situation, because you can walk into a place. Yes, you're right. I got a lot of activity, but somebody could go in there the next day and not get any because the spirit didn't like them.
Right.
It could be different reasons. The spirit might not even be there when they went. Because I'm a true believer in, and I'll give you a prime example. I'll give you a prime example on why I believe in this. I believe spirits can come back and forth. And the reason I say that is because of the fact that I was at a canal that was apparently haunted. And we had the K2 going, nothing around. I'm one of those believers, if we're going to be doing the K2, you shut off your phone, or your phone's nowhere near the K2 because it can easily set it off. I make sure there's no wires or electrical boxes around. Nothing was around. We had the K2 on the rock, and I asked a question. I asked several questions during this session, but one particular question I asked, can you come back and forth? And the K2 lit up like a Christmas tree.
Wow.
So I believe spirits can come back and forth. Maybe that person goes in there that one day and the spirit's not there. It's quite possible. It's very possible. It's more likely that than me going into the place one night, me sucking out the energy of that place, and somebody else going in the next night and not getting anything. That's more than likely what's going on, in my opinion. This is my opinion. So, and again, and Stephen agreed with me. We have made this industry so complicated that some days I listen to a show and I have no friggin' idea what the people are talking about. No idea. And I think it's time that, we need to start bringing paranormal investigations back to basics, where it all began, because people are coming out with these weird theories and weird ideas and weird things here, weird things that it's making it so complicated that it's becoming unfun paranormal investigations. Do you agree, or do you not agree with me?
Yeah, I agree.
Because
to a certain extent,
it.
Yeah. Do you agree with me to a certain extent, or do you believe there's any backing behind the reason why somebody goes in one night and somebody goes in the next night and nothing happens? Do you think that's a possibility that they can be coming back and forth?
I do, actually, and I've even said to people on occasion, going, well, I'm sorry you didn't really get anything. The ghost was probably on vacation.
or the person, and this is another thing that kills me. And I don't know if you guys watch a lot of videos or not, but I watch a lot of these videos of these young kids going into these haunted locations and being very, very disrespectful. Being very disrespectful. And why would a spirit want to speak to them or talk to them or converse with them or anything with somebody who's being very disrespectful? That's almost like me walking into your house and yelling out your name, or walking into a coffee shop and saying, is anybody here? It's just, I think the young kids have become very, very disrespectful for the spirits. And why should the spirits be talking to anyone when they come into their location?
That's very true, that one.
Yeah. So.
I've said a couple of times to people going, the spirits are really actually intelligent. They probably can tell when you're walking in, are you here just for your 15 minutes of fame? Or are you here to really talk, get to hear my story?
I completely agree with you. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think my thing, and I've done this right from the beginning, and honestly, this was kind of taught to me. It's not something that I came up with on my own. Like when I first started doing paranormal investigations, I went out with a local group that were very, very respectful, and that's where I really learned. I think you're going to get more activity and more stuff happening the more respectful you are. So every time I go into a location, I always introduce myself. First things first. And then I introduce anybody that's with me, because I'm coming into their domain. Why wouldn't I be respectful? You know what I mean? And I have this funny habit too. And I think Jenny has it too. I think Jenny does the same thing. Jenny, it just came in the room. When I walk into a place, I touch something. I touch a wall. I touch a door. I touch something just to show my respect to the place.
Yeah.
And I think, what is that old saying? You're going to get more honey with, what's that saying?
Bees with honey.
With honey.
Yeah, something along that lines.
Yeah.
But, I'm just very, very respectful. There was a video that from the UK that when I was with Nando and Lex, I was introducing everyone, and I said Lex. It said Lex back, and then I said Nando. It said Nando back. So I think. I knew Jenny did that. I just think that if you're going into a place and being disrespectful and not capturing anything, maybe you should reevaluate your paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a question for you. So do you think that the global interest in the paranormal is still growing, or do you think it's peaked?
I don't think it's peaked, but I think people are not watching it as much as they used to, because there's this widely unfortunate thing that's going on out there, and it's called fakers. And people that are not in the industry are having a very difficult time distinguishing what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Because editing has gotten so much better that you can easily edit something into your video, and you knowing it's fake, but the people outside going, okay, well, I think he's faking it. And some people, well, no, that's real. I don't think we've peaked. I think the problem is we've gotten to a certain point where people that are not in the field are getting tired of hearing what's real and what's not real. And I think honestly, I think in some ways people are starting to lose interest.
Yeah.
I agree. And I always will, people come up to me and say, when I catch something, to go, well, you faked it. I was like, why would I fake it? It's so much better, real and authentic than the faked part.
Yeah, I'm one of those people, and Lex is like, and me and Lex are exactly like, we're the same when it comes to this. If I put a video out and somebody says you faked it, I said, if they're in the area, I said, let's meet up. I'll bring my laptop. I'll put the SD card in, and you can hear what I hear to prove that I'm not faking.
Yeah.
And me and Lex are we're the same when it comes to that. I will send you the full clip. Like if it's 32 minutes, because my camera, it films every 30 minutes and then shuts off. That's what some Canons do. So I will send you that 30-minute clip, and you tell me if I faked it or not. Because I guarantee, well, I'll tell you this, my integrity means way too much to me to fake videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and you know what? I will say that Ghost Adventures has ruined a lot, but I will say this, Matt, there's been a lot more than Ghost Adventures that
Oh,
destroyed
definitely.
it.
Yeah.
So,
there was one in the UK, Most Haunted, that ruined it for us.
Yeah. There's some YouTubers that have absolutely destroyed the industry, and even locations. There's a group that went to, and they faked their videos, and this was one of the spots that was on my bucket list. South Pittsburgh Hospital is on one of the places that I would love to go. But in order to go and film there, you have to go through so much red tape now to film there. It's not even worth it.
Wow.
And 2 guys destroyed that place because they faked their videos. And that is the problem with this industry too. And these idiots that are going out and faking these videos, places are becoming a lot more stingent on who they're allowing in these locations now, and they're charging a lot more, and they're getting you to sign all this paperwork, sending videos to them to make sure that you're not faking. It's like, what is the sense? Like, why do I want to go through all that red tape just to film your location? You know, and it's becoming for me, even in the last 10 years, I would say it's not as fun as it used to be.
Yeah.
Well, then, and the other thing I have issues with is where you'll go into the building and you're going through the tour, and then somebody will say, "Oh, this wasn't here before. Well, this just got spray painted recently by a team that was in here before." And it's like, why would you spray paint a location?
Yeah. There's an incredible location. It's about an hour and a half from me, and I love this location. And we were actually filming an episode for Paraflix there, and 5 people walked in. They walked to the other side of the tunnel, and you can only walk so far because It gets to a certain point, and then it's just water. It's just deep water. So they were spray painting the walls,
Wow.
and I don't even know why they were doing this. They were spray painting the ice, and which made no sense to me whatsoever. But we waited for them to leave, and I made a comment when they left, like, "The hell's wrong with you?" I basically said, "Why are you spray painting such an amazing place? You're destroying it."
Exactly. And what it got me was there's a location in Oklahoma, Broken Bow Asylum. Somebody spray painted a pentagram in one of the rooms, and I'm like, why? And
Yeah.
it's like, why are you destroying this place for everybody else? Because now every time somebody comes in, they have to explain this is not original.
Yeah, yeah.
This was not used before.
And I've always said this from day one with the Global Ghost Hunt. Global Ghost Hunt to me was not only about the investigation teams, but it was also about the locations. And I think we can all agree, like us three and people in the room, that these locations are disappearing every year.
Yeah.
They
And
are.
whether it's vandalism, whether it's the cost of keeping it open, whatever that reason may be, that's one of the reasons why I started the Global Ghost Hunt, because there are a lot of locations out there that are not Waverly Hills, that are not Penhurst, that are not, these big, huge locations.
Yeah.
And they're trying to survive. They're trying to stay open. And there's a place that we had on our list for May. Unfortunately, we didn't find them a team, and now they're closing down.
Hmm.
And it looks like an amazing location. And I'm hoping that they're going to try to stay open, because we'd love to see them back in October and try to get them a team. But so many of these places are disappearing, and that's why Global Ghost Hunt was so important to me, because really, for the amount of views and the amount of people that were watching across the world, they got to see these locations that they'd never heard of before,
Yeah.
like the Victorian views. I know people in the States might have heard them, but there's people around the world that haven't. SK Pierce was an incredible place. We had one in Australia that was Clive Cottage. That was incredible, that nobody had heard of. So our real goal for the Global Ghost Hunt was, yes, we're going to have our popular places, but we really want to popularize the locations that don't have a name.
Yeah.
And that's really what the Global Ghost Hunt was about. And I know a lot of people there, like I know Jenny's still in the room. There's a lot of people that were fascinated by the stuff they were seeing in the UK, like the one that Jenny did. Sorry, Jenny, if I get this wrong. I don't think I'm going to, though. Drogheda, I believe it's called, museum in Melmont. That was a fantastic location, and really it was me wanting to help these locations. And yeah, there you go. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. Drogheda
Drogheda.
Museum Melmount. Drogheda, I believe it's called.
Drogheda.
Yeah. So I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. But there was just so many incredible locations. Like I think the Victorian View really stands out to me, because it was a place I'd never heard of, and a lot of people have never heard of this place. And the place was amazing. And they're coming back for October. And so we're hoping that there's going to be a team that will investigate this location. And again, I just go back to saying this is one of the main reasons why I did it, to save these, to preserve these locations, these haunted locations, because I'd love my grandkids, if they're interested in paranormal, to go to these locations.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
So yeah, and that's what was so
recently,
important to me.
yeah, I agree, because recently I went on an investigation in Cleburne, which is like an hour and a half from me.
Yeah,
Never even knew it had a. I visited there several times. Never knew it had a haunted history. And I'm on this ghost walk
yeah,
and hearing the haunted history of everything. And this one guy's kind of making jokes about everything. And this one lady steps up and says, I bought a business because I was hoping to have a family, you know, and thrive here. But I
Yeah.
had to shut my doors down because nobody comes to visit this city. And it's like, and we're going, really? Wow, you know, it's paranormal. We should start getting the word out. And so, yeah, I started publishing out, hey, you know, here's a haunted ghost walk you should do
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Or here's a haunted location you should check out. It's like trying to get the word out so that it brings people in to help the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that's what our goal was. Our goal was to get these places known so people can start going to these places. Like, you know, like when we started really getting into the teams that were signing up and the locations that were signing up, we were getting the thumbnails and the videos out there and stuff like that. And then I started seeing, and which I thought was really incredible, when I was putting all these thumbnails and videos out, I started seeing these places. Then I started seeing people that were actually going there investigating, because I don't know if it's because they saw a video or a thumbnail, they didn't know it existed, and these places started getting booked. And that's what our goal was, right? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, the people got to see him during the event, but even before that, people were seeing the thumbnails and the videos and calling out to these places and booking. You know, because I'd never heard of Dumas Brothel. I've never heard of, you know, the radio muse. I think it was the Radio Museum of Technology. I'd never heard of this place, but now these places are starting. People are starting to call these places, and because they saw them on the Global Ghost Hunt, and they want to investigate. You know, and that's what our goal was. That's what our long-term goal is.
Well, I've got a question for you.
Sure.
What do you see yourself doing in the next 3 to 5 years? Where do you see yourself being?
Oh, nobody ever asked me this question.
Really?
Even the Kelly to ask me this question. Oh Lord, 3 to 5 years. Honestly, not to be involved in the paranormal at all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
I was thinking the same thing, but never mind.
You know, I have a particular goal for two things. I have a particular goal for Parapost Network, and I have a particular goal for Global Ghost Hunt. Which one do you want?
All of them.
Ava? Yeah,
Okay.
both of them.
So Global Ghost Hunt, the long-term goal, where I see this in 3 to 5 years, and I am not bragging. I'm not doing anything like that. I just see the direction this is going. And I think in 3 to 5 years, this will be the number 1 and the number 2 event of the year. That's where I see it going. I think people are going to I think people in locations are going to see the value of what the Global Ghost Hunt is about and what we're trying to achieve. And I think people will want to be a part of that. That's the long-term goal for Global Ghost Hunt. And really, and to add to that, I want to separate the divisions. Which, what I mean by that is I want to have a North American division. I want to have an Australian division. I want to have a UK division. I want to have an Ireland division. Notice how I said Ireland, Jenny? Yeah. So and even possibly Scotland as well. You know,
I can't leave the Scottish out.
I definitely want to have different divisions, and that's why I'm saying in a couple of years it could be a month long event, because there's going to be separate divisions from around the world that are going to be all going live. So once the Global Ghost Hunt is coming up in May, we'll have how many teams from Australia, how many teams from the UK or Europe, how many teams from North America. You know, it will all fall into that month. So eventually there will be so many investigations around the world going on that, again, people will see the value and the reasons why they should be signing up, because it's just not about getting your name out there. Yes, that's part of it, but it's also the preservation of these locations.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you see the value in that, you should be signing up. That's all I need to say about the Global Ghost Hunt. Parapost Network, I see in about 5 years, being the number one social media site to go to for everything paranormal.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's excellent.
And that's not bragging or anything like that. It's not. It's really not. I'm actually a really, really humble person. I have certain things. Like, I think we all have certain goals that we want to achieve in our lives, or in the near future. Like, I'm sure, Kelly, you have one. Michael, you have one, and we all do. And that is my goal: is to have Global Ghost Hunt and Parapost Network the things to either go to or be a part of in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's brilliant. Excellent.
Oh, here we go. Howard's in the room.
Yeah, you saw that. I don't even need to put that up on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Howard's never gonna change.
Yeah, it's a good job it's the end of the show now. So
Howard's always, I'm never ever gonna live that down. I'm never ever gonna live that. I don't know if you guys know the story or not, but Howard was doing a podcast and he was talking about his tassels for his nipples and stuff like that. So I came up on to the podcast and they asked to see my nipples and I showed them, and that's where it comes from. So yeah.
Okay.
It was a funny moment.
Remind us not to ask you that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you had to be there.
Like, if you know Howard, you pretty much got that one figured out.
I love Howard. Howard's a great guy. And you know what? To Howard and Steven and Chrissy as well. It's been an interesting ride with Paralinks and Parapost since last November, and I think and you guys know this, like the networks have really grown a lot. And and that's obviously with the thanks of Steven and Howard and Chrissy and everyone over at Paralinks that's helped us grow, and I think we've helped them grow as well. And it's just been a really, really fantastic relationship, and better and bigger things to come in the next year.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot more shows. And I want people to know out in the audience, if you're interested in doing a vodcast and you're not sure what you do or what you want to do, whatever you have a passion for, do it. And then once you start doing it, bring it over to Parapost and Paralinks, and we'll put you up there so you can get noticed. It doesn't have to be paranormal. It doesn't have to be supernatural. It doesn't have to be cryptids. It doesn't have to be anything involving the paranormal or the umbrella.
Cooking.
If you like cooking, bring it over. Like, I've been trying to get this girl, Kel, to start her show because she has a passion for, I won't get into what it is, but she has a big passion about something, and I would love for her to start the show, start her vodcast on it, and I've been pushing her to do it. And I think people will love it. I think people will love it. And if you're into baking, if you love making cakes, whatever, reading books, whatever, knitting, crochet, whatever, if you really enjoy doing what you're doing and you have a passion for it and you like to do a vodcast, bring it over to Paralinks and Parapost, and we're going to be more than happy to put it up on the pages because you deserve it.
Yeah.
And I will say the one thing about Paralinks and Parapost that is a good place to get your start with is we have the support to help you. We've all been there. We all know what it takes, so we can help you launch, keep it going, and if you have any issues, we probably know how to fix them too.
Yeah. Okay, Howard. Okay, we get the whole nipple thing now. That was funny though. I have to admit that was funny. Cold nipple files. We do have a new show coming out soon. Hopefully within the next month or two. It was supposed to start this month, but he's had some medical issues, and that is James He's bringing a true crime show to Parapost, and then eventually it will end up on Paralinks as well. And I think that's going to be an amazing, amazing show because a lot of people love true crime. And he's got a channel up on YouTube, and he's somehow, I forget how he's involved. He's not involved with them, but I think he's had family that was associated with Charles Manson. And and this guy knows his shit. He really does. And I can't wait for his show to get started on both pages. It's going to be a lot of fun, and people are going to enjoy his show because he knows his crap. So
something to look forward to then.
Yeah. We actually have another vodcast coming up as well. I believe it starts on. I believe she told me it starts on Sunday. So once she gets up on there, she's on Parapost for a couple of weeks. We're going to bring her over to Paralinks. Because sometimes people say they want to do the show and then they start doing it and realize how much it really a lot of work it takes. Then they don't want to do it anymore. So I don't want to bring her over to Paralinks and if 2 weeks down the road she stops doing it. So if she's comfortable with doing it for a couple of weeks, and then we'll bring her over to Paralinks, and Paralinks does the same thing as well. Once they get a new show, they eventually bring them over to Parapost. So it's just been a great relationship up to this point. And Chrissy, Howard, and Stephen know how I feel about them, and it's been a fantastic relationship so far.
Excellent.
So far. I say that twice. No, I'm just kidding.
No, and Steven reminded me of a good spot, but I know in October they shut it down from Paranormal due to being a haunted house. Is Fort Walters and Mineral Wells. It is an extremely active, awesome site.
Is it?
And I mean, we're trying to get more people to go out and investigate there. In fact, I'm going next weekend to investigate there with the team, and hopefully that'll drum up some more buzz and activity around it. But Destination Fear did the Nazareth Hospital here in Mineral Wells, and there was a doll that got to Chelsea, so it's been nicknamed the Chelsea doll. The doll actually now resides in Fort Walters. So you can come and investigate with her. And yes, Howard, we do have Fear Fest 2023 New Orleans.
So let me get this straight. So Destination Fear did what?
The Nazareth Hospital before it closed down.
Okay. And there was some kind of doll or something like that?
There was a doll that was hanging up in the corner from the ceiling, and this black mask just came out of it. And Chelsea saw it and nearly dropped an entire table of dolls in this doll room and was like, oh my God. And they looked at the footage.
Chelsea part of Destination Fear?
Chelsea Layden, yes. Dakota Layden.
I don't know their names, so
yeah.
I wouldn't I'm going to be honest, Michael. I wouldn't put too much stock into Destination Fear. They faked a lot of their videos.
Well, Steve and I have done some investigating around this doll, and this doll is a real vessel doll. We've been getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Destination Fear has faked a lot of their videos. Sorry if you're a big fan.
Well, actually, I started viewing all those shows as just a way of going, I wonder if that's a place I really want to go and visit or not.
Well, that's good. That's a good way of thinking about it. But unfortunately, all their jumping up and scared and doing all this stuff it's really for the TV, for the film, And I don't know if you know this or not. Here's an interesting fact. You know that big trailer that has all their faces on it?
Yeah.
They're not even allowed in that trailer.
Really?
They were in another one. They were in a smaller one. That the actual big one is they're not allowed in that one.
Oh, well.
That's kind of funny.
So in actual fact, when you watch them, then when they were in the trailer, that wasn't the trailer that they were in. They were in a totally different one. They weren't allowed in the other one. Not a lot of people know that. But the only reason why I know that is because I know somebody that's with Discovery. So yeah, there's a lot of things that unfortunately that you're seeing is just not true.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's usually the case.
Now I will say this. For an entertainment value of Destination Fear, they're entertaining. But for real paranormal investigators, no. And here's a question back for you guys. Would you consider people that fake videos paranormal investigators?
No, they're just entertainers.
Well, I don't know,
entertainers.
Being a history major, I know there's in everything that's faked or legend-wise, there is an ounce of truth. So I think at heart they are investigators, but when they start faking stuff, they kind of veer away from that title.
So as entertainers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they started out as investigators, but then took a wrong turn.
Well, I know there's one group that Lex talks a lot about. Twin Paranormal, I believe they're called. When they first came out, they were their videos were apparent. I haven't watched their videos, but apparently their videos were real paranormal investigations. But one of their videos went viral, and then they had to keep that up and keep growing because the money was getting bigger and better, and the subscribers were getting bigger and better. So they had to keep it up. Now they do nothing but fake videos now.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately. And Lex talks about them a lot on Through the Lens.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so I was about to say, do you want to promote Through the Lens, your show?
Yeah, we actually we have a show coming up this weekend on Through the Lens at 4 p.m. Through the Lens is really we just did our 100th show last Sunday.
Congratulations.
And 100 years, 2 years. 100 years. 100 shows.
I was going to say, are you that old?
Yeah, 100 years. Wow, I look old.
You look good for your age.
2 years. And no, it was great. It was it's been a interesting ride through the lens. I think we've always stipulated what our show was about, and that was about up and coming paranormal investigators that put out videos that we deserve, that we think they deserve the 100,000 views, not the people that are faking videos. So really our show's really about getting to know the paranormal investigators, because a lot of times when you're watching these videos, you're not really learning about them. You're watching their investigation. So really this was a show about learning about them and getting to know them. So when you go over to their channel, you know who they are as people. And that was our goal with our show. And I don't think we've ever really steered away from that. And there's been people on our show that has been around the 600 mark, that as soon as they were on our show, they went right up to 1,000 because people started watching their videos and it started getting out there. And, and that was our goal. That was our goal, to help them grow as on their channel and as investigators and stuff like that. So 2 years, 100 shows.
Wow.
When we first started, and I'll be honest, when we first started, it was crap. It was crap. Like the show was crap, but as time went on, we got better. And I think can I talk? I think what people love about Through the Lens is the chemistry that me and Lex have.
Yeah.
And it flows and it's nice. Like eventually when you guys have done 50, 60 shows or whatever it may be, you're going to have that flow and people are going to recognize it when they see it. And I'm not saying you don't have it now, but I'm just saying it takes time to develop. It really does.
Yeah.
And I think we're all awkward at the beginning. And I think once you get into your 20th between 20 and 30 shows, that's when it really starts taking off, and you're a lot more comfortable with each other, and the show runs smoother, and a lot of things change. And you guys are on that brink, and keep doing your thing.
That's when I can get a word in edgeways from Michael.
Well,
sometimes,
which is unusual because it's usually the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Men can't get a word in edgewise usually. So
our show seems to rotate depending on who's talking, and
yeah, that's true. It changes every week. But anyway, I had a question to ask you before, like, obviously we close up on that. You said you're coming to the UK in January. So whereabouts in the UK are you planning on going, and what you plan on
whereabouts
doing?
are you? Whereabouts are you in the UK?
I'm not going to tell you that.
No. Well, because I was going to say a joke there, but she turned around and put it on me. Of course she did. So whereabouts in the UK are you?
I'm in the northeast, Newcastle.
Okay, yeah, no, we're on the total opposite end of.
Yeah.
See, that doesn't even work now. That joke doesn't even work now because she ruined it. And I think you knew. I think you knew that I was going to do that.
You say I'm psychic?
You know what? Maybe. Or you're just very perceptive.
Maybe.
Which I think is probably more. You never know. So when I come to the UK, it's probably. See, the last time I was in the UK, we were all over. I did 15,000 kilometers.
Wow.
When I was there last March. So I don't think the people that I got the car from were too happy. Yeah. So I leased a car or rented a car. And when I took it back, it had almost 15,000 kilometers on it.
Wow.
So so we were in Southampton, we were in Nottingham, we were in Stock, we were all over the place. Mm-hmm. So I honestly just go there and they tell me where I'm going, I just go.
And just hope for the best.
Hope for the best, yes.
Yeah.
That I make it there safely. Because your roundabouts are just absolutely atrocious.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
You don't have them, do you?
Well, I think we have 4 in this area.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
we've got one quite
How
often.
far are you from Milton Keynes?
Oh God. I don't know. That's all the way down the country. That's probably like about 300 miles away or something. 300 miles.
So in Milton Keynes, it's not an overly big town. Like, it's a town. It's not a city. It's a town. It's not overly big. I can't remember what the amount of people that live there. I don't know the population number, but it's a small town. They have over 180 roundabouts in this small little town. Like, that's just atrocious.
Yeah, that's
and they're
probably
paying
like about that in Newcastle.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't encounter like the 6 or 7 lane one. I only encountered like the 3 or 4 lane one.
That's bad.
But I hear downtown London, it could be like 8 or 9 or 10 lanes in the roundabouts.
Yeah, that's not so bad. But like, we've got roundabouts with roundabouts on them. Like, there's 5 roundabouts around a roundabout.
Yeah. Lex really got frustrated with me at times with the roundabouts and the driving. So, yeah, I said, "Come here, let's see you drive here," because you'd probably be all over the place too. So,
but he's from the UK, isn't he?
Yeah, he lives in Milton Keynes. That's why I was talking about Milton Keynes, because that's where I stayed for most of the time. So, but just so I'm hoping to be there in January. So maybe we'll find ourselves up in Newcastle area at one point. Is there any good spots in your area for investigation?
Yeah, apparently.
Why are you giving me that face? Why are you giving me that face? You know what? I'm going to tell people right now, Kelly is completely different in Messenger and WhatsApp than she is here.
I know, I'm sweet.
Man, I don't even have her on WhatsApp.
You know, you say you're not that special, Michael. Damn.
Kelly's nothing like this. Nothing like this through Messenger and WhatsApp. You're a very sweet person. Why are you acting this way?
I am very sweet anyway.
No, there's a joke about where she lives that seems to come up every episode.
Yeah. Michael's not happy with the fact that I haven't investigated Hadrian's Wall, which is like 200 yards away from my house.
You haven't investigated what? Sorry.
Hadrian's Wall.
Adrian's Wall.
Okay, so is that is it haunted?
Well, it's got 2,000 years of Roman history.
Oh, it doesn't mean it's haunted.
Apparently, people have seen like centurions and stuff. So
And how far is it from you?
200 yards away from you.
And
from my
why
house.
have you not investigated it?
That's why I keep getting.
That's what I've been asking.
I said I would take you up there on TikTok and do a live review. But...
Well, I'm going to tell you this much right now: if that place was that close to me, I would probably be there every other night.
Yeah, it's like it's walking that distance. It's like who would want to walk there?
5 minutes, 5-minute walking.
No, I'm just joking. I will get around to it, but as you know, I've had personal stuff going on recently. So,
but what about before that? How long have you been living by it?
I've got no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got no excuse whatsoever.
The funny thing about it, Brian, is she sent me photos that she looked for that were of the location on the internet. That is where she lives because she didn't go over there. Send them to me. And so when she was on a show last night, I said, "Oh, yeah, the photos you took were really great and everything." And she laughed and goes, "Yeah, I didn't take those.
I got them off Google."
And so the whole show starts laughing over the fact that I'm over here raving these photos of the location and how cool it is.
And yet it's 200 yards away from you and you can't go over there and take some pictures.
I will, I promise, at some point.
Actually, in all honesty, she has taken a few photos and sent them to me. Legit photos, not Google
just not
photos.
of Hadrian's Wall. I will get there.
I'm sure you'll get there.
Oh, and anyway, to answer your question, we have got loads of haunted locations up here. We've got that many like different castles, stately homes, stuff like that. There's Nelson, which is the Northeast Land and Sea Museum, if I'm getting that right. We go there quite regularly. That's really haunted. It's got all the like fighter jets from World War II, I think it is, and like all the different like machinery and stuff like that. So that's a quite really good place to investigate. So
yeah, that's cool. I would I definitely the great place about Europe is, or UK or whatever, is the history. The history is what is amazing, and you guys got some fantastic spots out there, and I can't wait to get back out there. I'll be honest and say that I love going to the UK, and I love going to the UK. I really do. And I've been there a number of times for paranormal investigations. That was the first time last year, but other times I've been there as a, because I got family and stuff like that over there.
Yeah.
But I tell you, UK is amazing. Sorry guys, I'm going to say this now, and I apologize. Please don't send me any nasty messages. But I hate the States.
I'm the opposite.
I'm just gonna stay out of this conversation for a moment.
No, I'm the opposite. I would love to live in the States. It's
what?
Been a dream since I was a kid.
And granted, now let me explain myself. I don't hate the States in a whole. I hate your borders. I hate the borders and the States because I always have a problem at the borders, because I tell them I'm going over there to do an investigation and they look at me like I'm an alien, and they give me so many problems. When I go over the border about just going over to film a location. And I don't know what's going on with your Homeland Security, but it's crazy. It really, really is crazy. The last time I traveled over the border, I was there for almost 2.5 hours. Finally, they let me through, asking me the same question 20 different times.
Yeah, I wonder why they were trying to keep you there.
Yeah. I got a funny story for you, being that I'm from the States. We were on a cruise ship coming in, and we were on a layover, about to leave for another leg of the cruise. And the cruise ship announces you don't need your passport to go to shore. So we leave it in the room, in the safe. We get to shore. Homeland Security pulls us aside and says, "Where's your passport? It's on the ship. You need to come with us."
Yeah.
And we have IDs that says we live in America. We live in Texas. And they were like, "That doesn't work. We really need your passport."
Yeah.
And it was like 4 or 5 hours later, they let us go into Florida and back on the ship.
Hmm.
And we're U.S. citizens.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I have the same problem. Like I had the same problem coming back from the States with the Canadian border. Like they're just ridiculous. Unfortunately, we live in a society today where everybody's accused of being a terrorist, and we're going to commit some kind of mass murder going over the borders. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in. Let me clarify. I love the States. I love the people. I have so many friends in the States. I was just kidding around. It's your homeland security that I hate, and the borders I hate, because there's no reason for them to keep me there for 2.5 hours. Then after that 2.5 hours, then they search my car to see if I'm taking anything over the border. And I get somebody said something earlier about too many unregistered. I get that. We have a lot of that here too. But let me clarify. I love the States. I
had to say that.
I have so many
no
friends in the
backtracking now.
No,
Yeah.
I have so many friends in the States. I really do. I just hate your borders.
Yeah, well, you had to say that because obviously Howard was threatening to put your email address on your phone number.
You do look suspicious, Brian. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate that. No, but seriously, I always have a problem going over the borders. Even at the airport, they took me in the back room.
Ooh.
The problem. This is where the problem lies. I'm going over and telling them that I'm doing a paranormal investigation. Now, if you take a look at my IMDb, you'll see that I've done a few paranormal shows. So they automatically think that I'm going to the States to do some filming for acting, for TV shows. That's why they keep me, because every time I go over, they ask about my IMDb. That's why they say, well, we're seeing that you've done a couple of paranormal shows. Well, yeah, those are TV shows. I'm going over there to film an investigation that I do personally for myself, but they can't seem to grasp that. So it's just interesting. Every time I go, they're always asking about, Paraflix, my IMDb, and everything like that. And that's why I get stopped. So, but, this is what I mean. People take me to heart too much. I was kidding about not liking the States. Of course, I love the States.
Okay, we'll take your word on that.
See, now you're just making it worse by making all those faces and stuff.
Can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like winding you up, as you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, with
I don't trust Canadians with all that maple syrup they're consuming.
Yeah, and then he added this.
I don't think we're consuming that much maple syrup. I know I don't. That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking exactly the same. Yeah. Wow. Triggered.
Right. I think we're obviously we've gone a little bit over.
How long's normally your show? Normally only
an
about an hour, right?
Yeah,
oh, okay. Wow.
So we're quite a bit over. So where can people find you anyway if they want to look you up?
Well, let's start off with Global Ghost Hunt. Global Ghost Hunt, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Huntophobia, you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Parapost Network Central, you can find on Facebook, and Parapost Network International 2. You can find on Facebook as well. That's for more international podcasts once we get more international podcasts. So, and then obviously Parapost Network, you can download it through iOS or Android. or Facebook, Parapost Network Central on Facebook. But the app is, you can download it through iOS or Android. And again, the app is everything under the paranormal umbrella. So if you have videos, stories, whatever, you can post them there.
Cool.
And huntophobia. Did I say huntophobia?
You said huntophobia.
I did. Okay.
And I even said it right.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you did.
But I really
fun.
appreciate you guys having me up. It was a lot of fun being here.
Yeah, it was
other
brilliant
than
having
the, Kelly doing her few little things there.
I'm not going to.
I'm starting to like Michael more.
I suspected as much. I just can't believe you think I'm sweet. Like, especially on like WhatsApp.
Sweet person. You're sweet on Messenger and WhatsApp.
It's because I can't type fast enough. That's why, to be sarcastic.
Really? Because some of those messages you're sending are like this big. So are you speaking into it?
No.
No, you're typing it?
Do you really think I would be speaking into it? It wouldn't understand a word I was saying. So it's a little bit.
I was going to say.
Oh gosh.
But anyway, it's been brilliant having you on, and it's been a really good laugh, and
yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun.
Interesting. But when I could get a word in edgeways anyway again.
Who?
Me, I couldn't get a word in edgeways.
Really?
Yeah. It was like when I was on your show.
I did.
You asked a lot of questions.
It was basically I couldn't get a word in with Michael this time.
Ah, okay.
I
thought you were blaming me
more than I did.
No, not this time. I was like just sitting here, just minding your own business type of thing. So
no, but you know what? I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's been a lot of fun, and to all my Canadian, American, and European friends, thank you for watching. I appreciate that.
Brilliant. I just want to thank everybody.
You see how I did that?
Yeah,
we did.
I want to thank everybody in the comments, everybody who's commented, and I'm sorry if we never got around to obviously acknowledging you, but we really truly do thank you. So we're gonna take this moment and thank you and end the show. Michael, anything to add?
Only join us on our regular. We're back in our regular routine, so we'll be back in 2 weeks with Kathy Tierney. I'm hoping I pronounced this right, Cogliano. So stay tuned for that show. And
am I on your other show coming up soon?
On the 20th, you're on the energy that surrounds us.
You would have to put up with me on that one.
Well, I'm rethinking the whole WhatsApp and Messenger thing. That's for sure. me and Kelly have had a lot of conversations in the past, and we talk every so often. Not as much as we used to, but I know there's stuff going on with you. But I will tell you, people, Kelly is much sweeter over Messenger and WhatsApp than she is on this show.
What do you think?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But it's been great. It's been great, Kel and Michael. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Coming on. Right. So, thank you very much. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, guys. See you then, I guess. Michael, do you want to close up?
Sure. Here we go. Thank you for joining us at Paranormal Versus. Hope to see you on our next episode.